perfect fall weather. There are leaves crunching underneath my feet. I feel like this is the perfect fall fit, and I'm getting ready to go to the farmer's market with the bestie. I am so excited. Just be like in my fall vibes. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't really know if you can from that far back, but I'm just loving the fall like feels, all the leaves on the ground and just everything. So I am going to be reading through my fall physical TBR in this video and hopefully getting through a lot. I want to start with this book. This looks like such a cute read, and I also feel like because there's leaves on the front, it's literally giving everything that I want it to give. So let's head to the farmer's market. I started this book called The Girls Who Grew Big, and it's so good, and it's made me really excited that my love for contemporary fiction has been like reinvigorated again, because I was a English literature major in college, and I feel like I got so burnt out on reading contemporary fiction that I just like never wanted to pick it up again. Like I literally was like, I will not be sad if I ever have to pick up a book that's like not a romance or just like something easy and fun. And this book is definitely different than my typical read because it's more like lyrical and poetic, which I feel like I usually don't enjoy, but I'm starting to love that style of writing more. And maybe it's because I'm getting more comfortable just like sitting with books. Like, I don't know, I feel like in the past, everything I wanted to read was like fast paced. I wanted it to be very just like, I don't know, get through the story, if that makes sense. And now I'm just like, I'm okay sitting with the story. I don't want it to be slow. I don't want it to be slow. I don't want it to be slow. But I'm okay with a story being drawn out where I have to really like think and sit and digest something and maybe like come back to it later and underline and like, I don't know, and I think part of the reason why I didn't like that in the past was because it felt like college, because I had like so much of that during my college experience. Like, you know, you are supposed to read a book in, let's say, 3 days, and it's like this huge thick book, and then you're supposed to like write a paper on it. You're supposed to bring notes to class with like things you want to talk about, and it just felt like homework. And so the thought of even annotating to me when I first got like back into reading was so like out of my realm of what I wanted to do. And now it's like, I love that part of like a book. And I think after reading Sweet Heat by Bolu Bapalola, it just made me more excited to read contemporary fiction, because I've realized that there are contemporary fiction books that have like heavy subplots of romance, but also there are some that, I don't know, have like themes of family and friendship that are just as beautiful, because yes, it's a different type of love and a different type of relationship, but it still is just as like meaningful, just in a different way. So I'm really loving this. I'm not super far into it, but I can definitely see myself getting into it more. I also started Hear My Heart the other day, and this is a really great read as well. This is one that I like initially expected it to just be like fluffy, fun, not really have too much else in it. I just kind of, I don't know, was like, oh, it's gonna be a fun fall read. Yeah, this book has depth. It has a lot. It has spice. It has like hard topics. And so if you go into this book, just keep that in mind. It's not your typical like fluffy, cozy read, but that's actually my favorite type of romance. I don't really like gravitate towards the super fluffy reads as much. I feel like now the books I like to read are the hard-hitting ones. They're the ones that are gonna leave me like broken and crying and just like you know, wrecked, those are my favorite reads. And is there something wrong with me because I like those? I don't know, but I think the books that wreck me, that make me cry, that have hard topics, are the romances that I love the most. So I don't know, I feel like I usually end up rating like just cozy reads that don't have like a ton of like anything like difficult or hard. I usually end up rating those like 3.5 stars because they're like cute, but I just don't like resonate with the characters as much. And they're doing what they need to do. You know, they're saving the coffee shop, or the small town guy falls in love with the city girl. Like, it's giving Hallmark, but it just isn't something that I like connect with as much or as on a deeper level as these. So really glad that I picked this up, and I am glad that it's not just like a cutesy little romance. Also, speaking of, while we're like here, we're getting ready to go on the boat, and we like to take the boat out even when it's like kind of like fall vibes. Like, you can see there's like leaves on the ground, but it's actually kind of nice because you get a little bit of the sun. You can just throw in a crew neck and it's just like really enjoyable. But I've been trying to find hairstyles that are like good for the boat, because anytime I have my fro out, it's really hard but I feel like by the time we get to where we're going on the boat, my hair literally is just in like every which way. Like, it's all over the place, and it's so hard for me to want to wear my hair out in an afro when I feel like it's just gonna, like, I'm gonna look like alfalfa. Like, it's gonna be straight up in the air. So I've been trying to find hairstyles that will work well for the boat, and I think this is going to be a good one because it's not super slick back. Like, I just put like leave-in conditioner like on the top, and it's just like the Pattern Beauty one. And then I put like a wrap on the top to kind of like lay the edges and like lay it down. And I didn't want to put like gel in it because I don't want to have to like wash out my hair and like do that whole process, because I just washed my hair last night. And so I, you know, feel like if I put gel in it, it's hard for me to do other styles with that in my hair. So anyway, this bottom part, I didn't twist at all. I just like finger combed it, and I put the same Pattern Beauty like deep conditioner in it, and then I just twisted these front. Now, I could do it without it, but I feel like my forehead is like a 5 head. Like, somebody said one time in high school, they were like, you know, you're a pretty girl when you got a 5 head, and I will take that as a compliment, because like, they're like, every pretty girl's got a 5 head, and I mean, I do. Like, I could put, what, 5 fingers there, like, pretty much, and I still have space. So, yeah, I put those there just to kind of, like, I don't know, be cute and add a little zhuzh. And so you can see the back. It's just, like, at the top I finger coiled it, put it into a little ponytail. I could have easily done just like a claw clip, but I didn't want it to like come out. I feel like on the boat, you just never know. You know, you could be driving and then all of a sudden your hat or whatever like flies away. So I thought this would be a nice style. I've been really trying to find more styles for the boat so that I don't feel like I need to have braids. And I think in my head I was like, well, what's the thing that I enjoy the most when I do have braids? And it's like, my hair is back. My hair is put back, but I didn't want to just do a bun. So I think that this is cute. It definitely doesn't have like the length that my hair normally has because it's finger coiled. It's obviously tight. But what's funny is people ask all the time, they'll be like, oh, did you cut your hair? Never ask a curly hair girl that, because I can guarantee she just did it in a different style. Like, no, I didn't cut my hair. It's just in a different style. So, yeah, anyway, I'm loving this style, and we're going to head out on the boat. I'm going to take this book and read it out there just because I feel like I'm going to be in the vibe to, like, read something poetic. much fun reading on the boat yesterday, and now we're getting ready to head to an apple orchard. I hopefully am not going to sneeze the rest of the day, but I've been sneezing so much because I am very allergic to ragweed, which the like fields and stuff are being harvested like around this time, and everything is like in the air, so I'm very itchy. But I also have not like taken any allergy medicine, and I usually take like Zyrtec or Zyrtec, and those work really well, so I'm gonna pick some of that up hopefully on the way. But we're gonna go to an apple orchard. I've been sitting here reading and enjoying just like being outside, and I'm loving this book so far. It's very, very good. I usually don't like books from different points of view, but I'm actually enjoying this, surprisingly, because like usually for me that's just like absolute no. And I also have really gotten into this one, and I did not realize that it would be as like spicy as it is, but I am glad that you guys gave me just like a little bit of a heads up, because initially I thought it was going to be just like cutesy, but again, like I was saying yesterday, I do like when books have like depth, and this book definitely has that, so know that going into this, that you're going to get a lot in there, spice included. But I think I'm going to start a third book today, not sure which one, but whenever I get about halfway through a book, I always feel like I want to like add something else in, so we'll probably start a new book when I get back, and maybe you guys can help me pick it out. But let's head to an apple orchard and just enjoy like picking out some apples. I've been trying to do more solo things this year. There was like a bug crawling on me, and it's like very nerve-wracking because there's certain things in the fall that almost feel like you should have to have your friends with you when you go do them, like pumpkin patches, apple orchards. There's just some things that I don't normally do solo, but this year we're breaking out of that. Comment below some fall things that you want to do, and maybe we can do all the fall things together solo. I just don't feel like I should have to wait until my friends are free to be able to like do something, because a lot of the time when that happens, I don't end up doing the thing that I want to do. So we're just gonna go to an apple orchard today, and hopefully it'll be fun. I think this is one of the best experiences apple picking I've literally ever had. I came out to Liberty Farms, which is in like Edwardsville, and usually whenever I go apple picking, there are so many people, it's so loud, and it's just like not the vibe. Like I don't enjoy it. I also don't see a lot of apples usually when I'm looking for apples, which is like kind of crazy. And I think it's just because it's so picked on. And this orchard has so many apples, guys. I can't even explain. There's so many literally on every tree, which I feel like is so rare, and it's like that all down here, and they have tons of trees this way, and they go all the way, like all the way down there, and they're all different kinds. Like those are all trees, and I just think this is like the coolest experience. Usually I'm just like kind of ready to go after apple picking. It's just not like relaxing or fun to me. I mean, it's like fun, but usually I'm just like overstimulated after I like go, because it's just like loud, and there's like hayride and kids and people, and this is exactly what I would want to do with my family or friends, because they have like a little shop inside with like a few trinkets and toys, and like they have apple cider that you can get, like the slushies, and that's it. You walk out here, so there's not like a ride or whatever, or you could park out here. This is amazing. This is literally a dream come true for me. I told her the kind that I wanted. I think I'm gonna get some Jonathan apples, and she said that they use these little markers to help you figure out what apples you want. And the blue ones, I think right past the blue there's red, and that's the one I'm looking for. But these look really yummy too. Look at all these apples, guys. This is crazy. There are so many apples here. It's actually unreal. This is throwing it back to when I was younger. My mom always had us pick apples for our neighbor, and technically we would pick them from our neighbor for ourselves, and we would trade him eggs because we had horses and chickens. I don't know if I even told you guys that, but growing up, we had our own little, kind of like a homestead. I feel like so many people romanticize homesteads now. Y'all, those are a lot of work. So think about those before you actually like get one. But yeah, we had horses and chickens, and so we would just pass on more like eggs for him, and then we would take home apples for us. I think I'm about done. I've picked all that this bag can hold, but they were so kind to just like let me have, you know, time in here because they do close at 5, but I did drive an hour, and they were, again, very, very nice to like let me come in here. But I have a whole bag of apples, so I'm a happy girl. Guys, this book is so sad, like so sad and heartbreaking. Like it's a lot. This book is a lot. I will say so many of you guys on Instagram have said that you've rated this book really highly, so going into it I did have pretty high expectations, and it's definitely meeting my expectations. I will also say that I'm loving this book even more than Nightcrawling. I read Nightcrawling, which is by the same author, a few years back, and I remember when I read it, I like thought it was fine. Like I really liked the story, but I think the writing style wasn't my favorite. The story was like very deep, very heartfelt. One of those books that like will completely alter the way that you think. That's literally like how I felt after reading it. But the writing style, I feel like there wasn't a lot of dialogue. It was a lot of like inner monologue. She didn't really talk to a lot of people. So I feel like I'm liking this a lot more because there's 4 different points of view. Wait, 4? 3 different points of view. And all the characters like talk to each other a lot, and they talk to a lot of other people. So it's definitely one of those that's like, I don't know, the writing style is easier to read, but it definitely has like a lot of quotable moments, and it is like more lyrical and poetic. And part of me is like, is this gonna be like a 5-star read? Like is this gonna be a 5-star? Like I feel like it's not, because I'm like 148 pages in, and usually by 50 pages I can tell if a book's gonna be a 5-star, but I feel like this is gonna be like a 4.5 because it is truly incredible. And really the difference between a 5-star and a 4.5 is 5 stars are books I want to read again and again and again. Like I could read it every year. I never get tired of it. Like 4.5 stars are basically books that give the vibe of 5 stars, but they don't have that same like I don't get the 5-star feeling. Like I don't want to read again. Like that's my criteria for like a 4.5 versus a 5-star. Like Fast by Millie Belazar is a book that I recommend to so many people. It's an incredible read, and I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, the largest reason is because I don't think I want to read it again. I feel like I got everything I needed from it. But again, that's just like my criteria. So this book is like, it's hard because it's true. That's the thing. It's like reading Nightcrawling, it was one of those stories that's like, you're kind of waiting for the happy ending, but then I realized like when you're reading contemporary fiction, a lot of the time you don't get that. And it's very true to life, like very true to life. And so like knowing that that is her writing style, like writing things that are just like hard and real, knowing that's her writing style, I was like, okay, going into this is probably gonna have the same vibe. And I think I enjoy this more also because when I read Nightcrawling, I wasn't really big into contemporary fiction. Like I was just like trying to read books. Like I didn't really know the difference between contemporary fiction or romance, or like I literally had no idea. So I would just like go in the bookstore and just like pick up books, which again, nothing wrong with like that at all. But I think a lot of the time I would pick books that were not like what I wanted to read because I just had no gauge. Like other than thrillers, like I knew thrillers and fantasy were different, but I kind of felt like romance and contemporary fiction were like the same thing. And now I'm like very aware that they're very different things. Like contemporary fiction is like, you can have themes of family or friendship. You can have like a subplot of romance, but that's not going to be like the driving force of the story. Or if it is, there's going to be like other things that are just as prominent in the storyline. Whereas romance is like, you always know you're going to get happily ever after. The romance drives the story. And yeah, I don't know. And some of them do like toe the line. Like sometimes people say Kennedy Ryan's stories read like contemporary fiction. Like This Could Be Us, because the romance felt like it kind of took a backseat to Soledad's like story and like all that was going on. But I definitely feel like it kind of like, I can understand when people say that, but I also feel like it was definitely a romance. It just was a different type of romance, because the romance focused on her loving herself, which is like such a unique concept. But and that's still a love story, right? But yeah, so like that's like the biggest differences. And I just am loving contemporary fiction. I think now that I've found authors that I love, now that I've found books that do have romance within them, like I have to have romance in a story. And like I just have realized that for me is like huge. If I have a romance and a thriller, makes the thriller even better. Like I love romance in a story. So I'm loving this. I'm 148 pages and it goes to, let's see, 335. So I'm like pretty close to halfway. Also, another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and this is like so random, but like looking at pictures in the back of books, I don't know what it does to me, but like I've been trying to do it more often, because it's making me be like, these are just people. These are literally just people. Like they're just people writing stories. Like I know it probably sounds like, well, duh, like I know they're an author, but like in the same way that you and me are just people, like these are just people, and we're like taking their work of art, their like most prized possession, the thing that they like put blood, sweat, and tears into, and we're like throwing up a rating on it. Like I mean obviously it's not bad if it's like a 4.5 out of 5-star rating, like, you know, whatever, but like there's so many books where I'm just like, it's like meh, you know, it's okay. And it's like, I don't know, I've thought about like on my Goodreads not rating those, like anything that's like under 4 stars, I've thought about just like leaving it and just like putting nothing there. But then it's like, as long as I'm giving a good critique, because like I don't feel like I give negative, like I'm not like this book sucks, like don't read it. Like I usually am like, you know, for me I rated it this rating, but if you like X, Y, and Z, like you might like this book. So I try to be very like constructive whenever I give my reviews, but I also am just like, is that needed? You know, like do we need to have any kind of criticism? But then it's like when I think about, you know, in college, like we would criticize works of art all the time, and not criticize in the sense of like being like, this is a terrible book, but it would just be like the things that we liked, the things we didn't like, things we resonated with, the themes, like we just would dissect it. And so it's like, is that just a natural part of literature? Like, and examining it, I don't know. I think because the internet is what it is now, those conversations are so vocalized. I'm just more conscious of them, because like I feel like this is similar but like different, but like whenever I found that thread, like I don't know if anyone, you guys remember, like it was like months ago, found this thread of people just like talking about me, and I like got really sad about it, because I always feel like people who are here on YouTube, like they know me well. Like you're in my bedroom, right? Like this is my bedroom. Like I'm in my bonnet, like I'm in my robe. Like I feel like you know me well. So I always feel like if you know me well, then you understand me, and I'm not going to be perceived negatively because you know me well. And that's just not true. Like people are going to take me and decide who they think I am based on whatever. And so like this book, you know, someone could have the intent for a book to be written about something specific, and then people can glean other things from it that make them like or dislike it and perceive it into like whatever they want it to be. And so in the same way that like I didn't like that thread and people were like sharing their grievances about like the things that they don't like about me, sometimes I'm like, do we need any of critiquing of anything? Like not anything, but you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes I'm like, is it too much? Because now it can be seen by the people who create the art. Like if it couldn't be seen, it was in these like private conversations, and it's like one thing, but it's just so out there. So I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot, but it made me think of it because the author, this is her picture. I'm pretty sure when she wrote Nightcrawling, I want to say she was like 19 or something. Like, isn't that crazy? Let's see if this will focus on her face and not on my hand. Like, isn't that wild? That is a picture of this girl. Like, this girl, I hope you guys can see that. She is just a girl. She's just a girl who wrote a book. And here I am. I mean, granted, I'm about to rate this super high because I do really like it. But, you know, here I am just being like, meh, eh. Or, oh my God, it's amazing. Like, everyone needs to read it. Like, it's, I don't know. It's like, it's her work of art. So, like, who am I to, I don't know. I don't know. And maybe that's just like the cycle of life, you know, like just the way the world turns. Like, we critique things and like that makes life interesting. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like, is it necessary? But I do love the discourse, and I do think that that makes people excited about reading books more, and it makes them like want to pick them up. Like this right here, that feels like the book club. And without it, would people even read as much as they do? Without being able to be like, oh my God, I read this book. Like, and someone else being like, I read it too, I loved it, or this is the thing I didn't like, and you just like talk about it. So anyway, loving it so far. Definitely gonna be highly rated, but I'm gonna sit here and continue to read. But I have to give you guys my late night thoughts because this book is like just eating me up, and I'm trying so hard like not to cry. And just telling myself like it's just a book, it's not real, but then it's like it is real, which is making me sad. But it's just, it's so good. I want to give you guys my little book haul of everything that I picked up yesterday. I just got 2 books, but I was really excited to get them. I also have 2 more books that are on the way because I was actually planning on going in to get 4. There have been so many new releases lately, but I've been just reading really fast, so it actually like kind of works out well. But I swear, these authors do need to slow down because I cannot keep up with like how many books that there are that I want to read. Like whenever I was book shopping with Lynn last week, and I was telling her like all the books that I have on my TBR, and she was like, well, are there any books on your shelf that like you don't really want to read that, you know, you could maybe donate or something, and so you won't have like as long as a physical TBR as like, you know, you have? I was literally like, I don't have any. I don't have any books that I want to give away or that I don't want to read. And if I do, I always put them in free libraries. Like I am very particular about what I pick up. But whenever I was looking at my TBR for the month of like what I want to read this month and kind of like putting it together, I was like, it's so hard to choose because I want to read everything, like literally read everything. So these are the 2 books that I got, and the first book is The End of Loneliness. I don't really know too much about this book, but there was a girl who made like a little review on Instagram, and this is a new release by the way, I'm pretty sure, and she shared all these books that are like 5-star, 6-star reads for her, and this was a 6-star read, and a lot of the other books in her little like video or picture, I can't remember what it was, all of them were books that I had read and also loved, like Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors, and I feel like this is gonna be a book that is just like really, really good. It's about a girl whose parents pass away, and I think she has to like navigate life on her own. I mean, it literally says the end of loneliness, so I don't know if she like falls in love with someone or what. One of you guys actually shared that you like when I give like a synopsis of the book versus like reading the back of the book, but a lot of the time I forget what the book is about. Like I'll read the back in Barnes & Noble or just like the indie bookstore where I pick up the book, but usually by the time I get home and actually share the books that I got, I do not remember what the back is about, but I'm pretty sure that's the gist of it. If I like remember correctly, it says it's a stunning meditation on the power of our memories, of what can be lost and what can never be let go. So it just looks good, and it says that her siblings remain a like stranger to her after 15 years after the passing of her parents. So maybe she's like rebuilding that relationship. I'm not really sure. It just looks really, really good. And I feel like I've been in my contemporary fiction era, so I'm excited to read it. I also really want to read Falling Like Leaves. This is such a cute cover. And this is actually a book that I saw on Instagram, and I was really excited to go pick it up, not realizing this is actually a young adult book, which is not normally what I pick up. I'm not normally a young adult girly, but because the cover is so cute, that's the thing that really pulled me in and made me want to read it. Actually, as I was checking out this book at the front, the lady who was like checking the books out, she's so sweet. She's like this little woman. She's always talking about how she like reads on her porch and like we'll share book recs with each other and stuff. She's just so sweet. And I sometimes, like whenever someone else is checking me out, whenever I'm at the bookstore and she's not there, I like get sad because I like love talking to her. And she actually was like, I want to take a picture of this book because I want to buy it myself. So as I was checking out, she took a picture of it. There is another fall read that I plan on picking up, as well as a new release that I didn't end up getting. And the new release is by a Black author. And then the fall read is also a new release as well. But both of those were not there. One of them was not there because it wasn't ordered, not because someone bought it. You can guess which one of the two. And then the other one wasn't there because it was already purchased, which to me, it's like, I don't know how many copies that they purchased, but sometimes I'm just like, if you could get a few more, that would be great. I know that they have to like decide what they think is gonna be best for, you know, purchasing at the bookshop. But if it's fall specific, like, I think that it should definitely be picked up. So I don't know why the lighting on this is changing, but anyway, yeah, I am really excited to read both of these, and I do have some more books that are coming in the mail as well, so I'll share those whenever they come in, I think sometime tomorrow. I think that this is going to be the next book that I start. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm definitely feeling in the thriller mood. And this is also another read that I've heard great things about, and it's on my TBR for this month, so I could also read this one too. I'm not sure. Both look really great, especially because all the reviews are just like, I don't know, really good.
So you're white. Then you're gonna bend at your waist down. Good. Open your arm that's closest to the mirror. Rotate. Good. Connect that hand back. Stand up. And then pull and pull forward. As the arms stay. You're pushing about halfway. Bend at your waist. Your circle comes down. Open that arm. Get some rotation. Good. Connect. Stand. Yes, 4, good, 2, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I started this book and I'm loving it, but I wanted to show you guys my outfit right now. I think this is such a cute little outfit. I've been trying to find more outfits that are like giving fall without like not being my style, you know, like I love color. I also love wearing like skirts and dresses, and I feel like most of the fall style is like trousers or jeans. And I don't know, as I've gotten into my 30s, I've really like evolved with what I like to wear, and so this is an outfit I'm absolutely loving. I love this big bag. My mom got this, I'm pretty sure, from like TJ Maxx or something. And then these shoes I feel like are perfect, and I got these socks off of Amazon, which really make any shoe just like really fall vibes. I'm also wearing my hair in a little bun, if you guys can see that. I think it's perfect for the fall because it's so windy, so your hair kind of blows everywhere. And I've been trying to wear more protective styles, and this bun is like so cute because I just made a bunch of little twists and then I kind of put them in like a little bit of a circle. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. So I ended up finishing this book. I started this and I'm so surprised by how much I love this one. I think because it's been on my TBR for so long, I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. Guys, this is giving Bridget Jones' Diary. This is giving like coming of age, but for like 28. Like this is like if you just got out of college or you're like still trying to find your way in your late 20s, this is the book that you need to read. I actually shared a video on Instagram and I said if you are like, basically I was like, these are books that every woman should read, and this was one of them. It was such an easy, fast read because it was so enjoyable. The main character does kind of irk, like she does make some decisions that are like really silly, but like that's literally life. And I could resonate with her so much because she would overthink everything. She would say the wrong thing. She didn't really know what she wanted to do with her career. Her parents were really pressuring her. Like, it just is such an incredible story. It shares grief and friendship, love and loss and all the things. So definitely would recommend this one for sure. I did see on her Instagram, and that's when you know you really like a book. I saw on her Instagram that she is actually going to release a new book in 2026. So I cannot wait to pick it up. I feel like it's going to be really good. So yeah, I did end up picking up a book that was way off what I expected, but I'm glad that I did. And then I also am about halfway through The Perfect Sister. This is a book, I don't know if I'll finish it in this video, but it is a book I'm reading really fast, but because I picked up Mame and it took a little bit longer to like get into a thriller, I don't know if I'll finish this in this video, we'll see. I didn't vlog at all yesterday, and I was just like reading and in a little reading hole, which is very enjoyable, but loving this book. If you want a thriller that isn't like, I don't know, this kind of gives Lucinda Berry vibes. You know, an author who's gonna share something that talks about like society and stuff as a whole, or just like crazy things, but it's not like fantastical. It's like stuff that could actually happen. This is definitely that kind of book. I am really enjoying it. It's super fast paced. There's lots of POVs, and normally I don't like that, but that's actually keeping me interested because this book is thick. Like she's a thick girl. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go and read a little bit more, but I wanted to give you guys a little update. I'm gonna go home pretty soon, but I need to stop and grab something for dinner. I have been getting into this bad habit, like on the weekends, of just like being like, I don't want to make dinner. And I make dinner like pretty much every night, and then we eat that for lunch the next day. But then Friday comes and I don't feel like it, but then I want to order in Saturday. And that just like doesn't work. Like we can't order in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, I mean, we can obviously, but like we try really hard to eat stuff that's like, you know, just gonna make us feel good. And it's hard to do that when you like order in. So I'm gonna go pick up a couple things from the grocery store. But I just got out of the coffee shop and I feel so like icky because I was sitting outside and there were like two girls who were sitting outside and they were just like talking so badly about their friend, and it really made me reflect and think on, and again, like I think they thought they were like in a very safe space because like no one else was out there but me, and I was like reading my book. But it just made me think about how I'm very grateful to have friends that I know are actually like my true friends. And that's not to say that you can't like bring up a grievance with a friend or something that frustrates you. Like that's one thing, you know, but if you are just like actively just dogging your friend, like they're like, she's a liar, she's this, she's that, like, and saying like all these things about her character, I just feel like that is not a true friend and not someone like you want to be around. But then the reason she came up is because they're literally going to her baby shower. I'm not kidding. They're literally going to her baby shower in like a day or two. And they're like, how many baby daddies does she have? Like, you know, I can't believe that she has someone and like I don't even have a partner. Like, how is it that I'm single and she's not? And I just am like, dang, like they're really preying on this girl's downfall. And granted, I don't know like the whole situation, so like maybe they've had like a tumultuous friendship and like things have been back and forth. But if you've been invited to like celebrate this person, obviously you're someone that they like trust. And they were just both just like kind of going back and forth. And like I was out there for a good amount of time like reading my book, and that's all they were talking about. And so I don't know, it just made me grateful for my friends, but it also made me really think about like whenever I used to have friends that I knew were just like not good friends, and I kept them around because I was like, well, who else is gonna be in my life, you know? That's not to say that, like, maybe you have a friend right now who you know isn't, like, the best in all aspects, but, like, you know that this person's in a place that is kind of putting them there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're working through some kind of trauma, like, I always feel like you have to give friends grace when life, like, is just lifing. But some people are just like that. Some people are just going to stay the way that they are. And I think back to, like, in college, and I still have friends from college. Like, Ebony, you guys know that I, like, see her all the time. We hang out all the time. And she's a great friend of mine. We've been friends since, like, 2010. But there's other people who I'm not friends with anymore. And when I think back on them, it's just, like, makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I was actually reading a part in this book, and it made me think back on whenever I was in, like, my freshman year of college. It was between freshman and sophomore year. It was, like, my last year living at home. And, like, I was not someone who really, like, drank a ton or, like, did really anything, like, wild in high school. But I feel like that summer between, like, you know, when you go off to college and you come back and you're like, I'm grown. I feel like that summer was in the summer where I was like, I'm gonna, like, try all the things and do all the stuff. And I remember my friend had a party, and she was like, you can sleep over at my house. And I was like, cool, I'll stay over at your house. Like, I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep over at her house. And at this point, I think I was like, I can't remember, but either way. So we go to this party, and whenever we're at this party, like, I get super drunk. Like, I don't know what, like, I don't know. I just started drinking so much, and everyone there was also, like, really drunk too. But, like, I'm not someone who, like, throws up, like, ever. Like, I don't ever really get sick like that if I'm drinking. And maybe because I was so, like, new to drinking a lot, maybe that's why I got sick. I don't know. Maybe because I was mixing stuff. Either way, I think I threw up twice, and I threw up in the toilet, and I remember this specifically. And that night, I'm not kidding, my friend who I was supposed to, like, stay the night at her house, she was like, oh, we should probably, like, take you home. And I was like, oh, well, I'm, like, staying at your house. Like, that's literally why I'm, like, you know, dressed and, like, ready to go out and all the things, because I'm not going home like this. Like, you know my mother? And so she was like, oh no, you should, like, probably go home. And, like, what are you gonna say? Like, absolutely not. Like, you know, it's someone's basically saying, like, you have to go home. You have to go home. So this other girl, she ends up dropping me off at my house on my porch with a bag that I had not puked in, by the way, like a trash bag, rang the doorbell and left. Not even like a, hey, like, let's make sure you get inside, like, left. And it made me think of this book, because there's actually a scene in this book where that exact same thing happens, where this girl, her friends, drop her off at her house, and they, like, honk the horn, and they're, like, basically trying to wake up her mom, and they just, like, leave, and they, like, giggle and, like, run away and, like, drive off. I remember the next morning, my mom, like, I woke up. Oh my God, I woke up. My mom had left a water on the side of the bed, bless her heart. I woke up hungover, like, so bad. And my mom was like, how are you feeling? I was like, oh my God, what happened last night? Like, I'm just thinking back, like, how did I get home? And it's, like, all coming back to me. And my mom was like, get up, get your clothes on, you're doing yard work. Yard work! I don't think there's anything worse than being hung over and doing yard work in the heat. And this is, like, not yard work that's, like, you know, piddling around. Like, no, my mom had this huge garden that literally had to be tilled. There's, like, just squash, tomatoes, like, corn. I mean, just tons of land that she had for gardening. And then tons of land that she had for, like, flowers and stuff. Like, we had 2 barns on our, like, yard area. Like, I feel like I don't even talk about this a lot, but we had chickens, we had horses. Well, technically there were 3 barns, but one was, like, basically falling over. But there were 2 gray barns, and then one really nice barn that was, like, red. And we had, like, hills, like, lots of acreage. So, I mean, imagine. She's like, get up, you're doing yard work all day. All day, I'm, like, freaking outside, just, like, in the heat. I will never forget it. And after that, I never, obviously, you know, went that wild. But I think, honestly, because it's, like, in college, like, everyone's kind of doing that thing. But I think just the disrespect of, like, bringing that home is, like, one thing, you know? Especially, like, as like, being in a home where you know, your family's like, yeah, we don't do that. Like, that's not something that we tolerate, not something that we accept. And I knew that, which is why I was like, I'm going to stay at my friend's house. And I kind of had like it all laid out where it's like a safe space. And like, I knew these people at this party. Those people are not your friends, girl. I wish I could go back and be like, those people are not your friends. They literally do not care about you. And there are other instances too, where like, by the grace of God, you know, there were things that could have easily went the wrong way because I was with these people who like did not care about me. And it like being in there, hearing them, it made me think back on how I really felt like these people were my friends. And now that I have true good friends, like I recognize what that looks like. And it doesn't look like people talking about you and not rooting for you. And it does not look like, you know, having people who you don't fully trust or people who don't have your back. It doesn't look like people who don't support you. So if you're someone who like is on the edge of like, maybe you have friends in your life, you're like, well, they've kind of done this or that. And like, should I like let them go? If you're iffy about it, cut them off. Cut them off. There are way too many people in the world. And I don't know why it is that we will cut off a partner so quick, but we won't let go of people in our life in other types of relationships when I feel like we should. I actually talked about this on my podcast. I recently did an episode about things that like have really helped build like a better lifestyle for me. And I talked about like letting go of people that like don't serve you anymore and like building into the intentional friendships. And it doesn't even have to be like a I'm cutting you off thing, like never talk to me again, but slowly pulling back that energy and like time and effort that you're putting into this that's not doing anything for you, and then putting that into another friendship, because I don't think you can like equally put in effort and energy and time into all friendships, right? So I feel like the ones that you know are just like not meant to be there, maybe you're not ready to like fully cut them off, which again can like cause a lot of like tension and contention. You don't have to. You can just stop putting in the effort and energy and time there and put it into another friend that is being a good like relationship and is being a good person and whatever to you. And if you don't have that yet, then put it into yourself, because you are worth so much more than having to worry if this person actually has your back or not. You're worth so much more than that. And I wish someone could go back and tell me that. But if you guys want to hear that episode, I always link my podcast below. It's called Love You Most Pod. But yeah, I just thought about that when I was in there and when I was reading this book. I was like, dang, we've had some growth, and I'm really, really grateful for it. I have some packages to show you guys, and I also have some book updates to show you guys too. So I'm going to show you guys or give you guys the book updates first. I ended up finishing technically I finished 3 books, but I'll have the 4th finished probably by tonight. Hear My Heart was really cute. I will say it had a lot more spice than expected. I did not realize that this would give like 50 Shades of Grey vibes, if you know what I mean. And so that for me was like definitely unexpected, but not mad about it. I just would say it wasn't like the cozy fall read that I was expecting. So I had to kind of like turn on my spice brain and be like, okay, this is fine, you know, it's enjoyable. And I think the storyline itself was so good. The spice kind of felt like it was a little out of nowhere. I think I'm gonna rate this one 3.5 because I could feel it, like as I read it, it felt like a movie. So I think I'll rate this one 3.5. I think if there wasn't as much spice, it definitely would have been 4 stars. But I think the spice for me, it just felt like a fall read. But I should have known that it was going to be pretty spicy, because I think this author has another book that I actually have on my TBR, and it's called All We've Ever Needed, I think. And it's like super spicy. She also has dark romance on her list of books. She has a dark romance called Captured Beauty and Stolen Matrimony. Those are 2 different ones. All these books are books that she's written. So she has tons of standalones. So yeah, I should have known that was going to be in this book, but I did love the storyline. I feel like it was really, really good. It was messy, but it was very good. And then I ended up reading the book I feel like that I will not shut up about, The Girls Who Grew Big by Layla Motley. This book this book was everything. Actually, at the end of this book, I wish that I could get more reactions, but a lot of the time I'm just like reading and in the moment, and so I'm not thinking to pull out my camera. And also, sometimes it's hard for me to capture like moments while still enjoying the moment when I have so many things to capture on. Like, I am usually capturing something for TikTok and for Instagram and for YouTube, and it's like I try not to like capture that moment on every single platform. So like sometimes I'll be reading and I'll get like a reaction, but it'll be like for my stories on Instagram, or if I'm reading and want to get a reaction, maybe it's for TikTok. So I don't know, I just feel like trying to get content on every single platform is literally impossible. So a lot of the time I don't think to pull out my big camera, I just am like using my phone for something. So yeah, I love this book. I'm gonna land at a 4.5 out of 5-star read, but I have not put in my rating on Goodreads yet, so that could easily go up to 5 stars, but I feel like it's gonna sit at 4.5 just because usually I know when a book is a 5-star read. This book was incredible, so good. The prose was just so poetic and beautiful, and it was a really easy read, not in like what's in the book, but how it's written. I feel like sometimes when the writing style is like more lyrical and poetic, the story kind of gets like boring at times. This was not like that at all. It was so good. I'm already sad that it's over. I feel like these characters are real. The characters felt truly like friends. I felt like I was in the friend group. And if you want a story about friendship, a story about how hard the world can be for mothers, for women, the expectations that we have placed on us, the help that women need that they don't get, and how they're just like supposed to figure it out, and that's just like considered the way of life. And I don't know, I feel like you'll really love this book. Please pick this one up. I cannot stop talking about this book. It's so good and so underrated. I mean, not underrated, it just came out, but like it is so good. I cannot stress that enough. And I know this is gonna be one of my top reads of 2025. And then I also read Mame. So many of you guys have been telling me to read this book, and I'm so glad that I did read it, but I'm also glad that I read it when I did. I want to read the inside because I want to make sure that I don't spoil something in this book. Okay, so they don't share what the thing is, which kind of makes it hard because I have a couple quotes that I wanted to read, but I will just like kind of skip over some of this stuff. But one of the quotes that I like read that I loved in this book, it said, "A person's struggles are not measured by the size of their struggles, but how much they weigh on them," which just such a perfect representation of this book, because she went through so much, but they're all like regular things that like the average person goes through for the most part, at least some point in their life. And she was overthinking everything. She was Googling everything to be like, is this right? I just don't know. Like, am I making the right decision? And I feel like the whole book, I was rooting for her, just like she was my friend. And sometimes she would speak out of turn, but she just felt so human to me, which is why I love this book. This literally felt like a coming of age novel for people who were like end of 20s era. There's also another quote that said, "How someone chooses to love you has less to do with you and more to do with them." I love that quote. Another quote that I read that I loved, when she was talking to her therapist, the therapist goes, "You're suffering from depression." And she goes, "But I'm carrying on. I'm doing fine. Like I'm fine. Like I'm figuring it out. I'm fine." And the therapist goes, "You cannot be fine and be depressed." And I was just like, because how often do we like go through something and, you know, tragedy strikes and we're feeling all the emotions and we're like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm figuring it out. It's okay. Like, yeah, maybe I'm depressed or maybe I'm sad, but like, I'm fine. It's like you can't be both, and it's okay not to be okay. And this book was such a great representation of that, of just like being human and figuring things out and not knowing like what's next and being okay with that and learning to be okay with that. It just was so good. There's also another quote where I can't like read the whole part of this quote because I don't want to spoil anything, but it goes, "How could I, in front of my family, describe that I'm not only mourning this tragedy, but the life I lost when the life I lost now that this tragedy happened. Like, I can't say the quote, but basically, the quote is saying, like, how could I explain the feelings that I'm feeling? And I'm not just feeling the sadness because of the tragedy, I'm feeling the sadness because the tragedy has changed me so much that I know my life will be forever changed. And I think that is such a great representation of how hardship and like just tragedy can break us, and we just don't sometimes recognize how big of a life shift our, like, I'm trying not to like spoil anything, but we don't recognize how big a shift in our life things will be after tragedy strikes, and I'll say that. So it was just a really, really good book. I had so many quotes. I will recommend this to every woman to read. Actually, both of these books I think are great for every woman to read. They're very powerful. And then right now I'm currently on The Perfect Sister. I feel like after this like bout of books, because I've read 2 contemporary fictions, I've read a spicy romance, and I'm now reading a thriller, I think I'm gonna want something like spicy, like filthy. I don't know. And maybe it's because I expected to go into that like book with just for it to be like cozy, and it ended up not being cozy, and it was like spicy, and I just was like not expecting it. But now I'm kind of like in the mood for that, so I think I'm gonna pick up something spicy next. But this book I'm loving. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's about a girl who's trying to get out of a cult, but there's so many different POVs, so you'll never get bored. I'm loving it. This is my first book by Desiree, but it will not be my last. There are no page numbers in this book, which initially kind of freaked me out because I'm like, how am I supposed to track like how far I am or whatever? And it's like, just enjoy the book. I think sometimes I get caught up in page numbers. It's like, when am I going to finish the book, or what part of the book am I in? And it really doesn't matter. There also are not a ton of like chapters. Like, some of the pages will just like randomly say a person's name at the top, so you know it's like a new person, but it's kind of just like flowing. Like, and I am really enjoying that style of writing because it's like really getting me into the story, and I'm feeling like it's not a book. You know what I mean? Like when you read a book and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel like a book. It just feels like I'm a part of the story. That's how I feel with this. I'll definitely finish that tonight. And then I also have some packages, so we're gonna open these together. The first package that I have, of course, is a book. And I got The Unraveling by V. Keelan. And the back said, this isn't a love story, it's a story about obsession. You'll assume you know who the object of the obsession is, the psychiatrist concealing the twist connection she has to her patient, or maybe her patient isn't as innocent as he seems, but more than one person hides a secret. To what lengths will desire and grief drive a person? Stop guessing, let the mystery unravel. And this is a book that you guys recommended because I was asking for thriller recs that are like 5 stars. One of you guys, or maybe 2 of you guys, said that that was one that you enjoyed. And then this is a package of more books. And I want to open these. I feel like I've just been on like a reading kick of just like reading so fast, because how did I get through this whole week and read all of these books? And 2 of these books are so thick. I just have been really, not that I wasn't loving reading before, but I think switching up genres has been fun. The changing seasons has been fun. So I'm really loving the new books that I've been reading. And this box, I'm trying to get all the books out. There are 3 books in here, and I'm really excited to show these because one of you guys actually recommended one of these books. These are the 3. The first book that I picked up is a book that one of you guys recommended. It's called Rolling Love by Morgan A. Evans, and it's supposed to give like a 90s love story type of vibe. I'm not gonna like read the back, but it's about a girl who is 13 and she discovers she's 13 and pregnant, and it's supposed to again give like that old school type of vibe. One of you guys recommended this. I'm really excited for this one, and it's a novella. It's very short. And then I also picked up A Scoring Chance by A.J. Alexander. This is by a Black author. It's a hockey romance. It says, after a devastating knee injury puts my professional hockey career on ice, I find myself in the last place I want to be, back in my small hometown coaching pee-wee hockey. And then it says, just one smile from her sets my entire world ablaze. I want to know everything about her. He meets this girl named Ramona King. She's the mother of one of my players and my sister from another mister's best friend. which is why she's off limits. This is a thick book, so I'm really excited to read this. I'm pretty sure that this is a interracial romance, I think. So yeah, I haven't read anything by that author, but I cannot wait to read it. And then I also picked up Selfish, which is by Katura B. You guys always ask how I find these books by these authors. I can't even tell you. I just am on some side of the internet, and like the internet apparently knows me well because they're always recommending like just very niche books that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, and this is one of them. This looks so good. This looks like it's gonna be a heartbreaking read. I am gonna read the back of this. It says, Sunday Monroe Banks was born into pain. After losing her father and being sold out by her own mother, she learned fast love is dangerous and feelings can get you killed. Now 19, Sunday's not chasing dreams. She's chasing survival. Cold-hearted, street smart, and unapologetically selfish, she trusts no one and plays the game her way. But when loyalty turns into betrayal and buried secrets resurface, Sunday is forced to face the one truth she's been running from, herself. Selfish is a gritty, emotional tale of hood love, heartbreak, and coming of age in the streets. Because love might heal, but sometimes being selfish is the only way to live. I feel like this is gonna be great. This is also a shorter book as well. This is only like 357 pages, and there's a lot of page breaks. Like there's tons of dialogue. Like if I can, let me see if I can get you guys to see that. You see that? Look at all those page breaks. That means that there's like tons of dialogue in this book, so I cannot wait to read it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and all the book recs, all the chats. I've just been loving like the season changing, and like, I don't know, I think reading some of these books has made me recognize how down bad I was. And obviously I shared in the last video, and so many of you guys resonated when I talked about my dad and losing him, and it's been about 2 years. It'll be 2 years in October, which is like a month from now, and I just cannot believe how different I feel now from 2 years ago, even from a year ago. So if you're someone who's like going through loss, or just like trying to get through day by day, like sludging through quicksand, or at least it feels like it, I just want you to know the feelings that you feel won't necessarily go away. Like you will always miss them and you'll love them, but you will get to a point where you don't feel suffocated by grief, and you don't feel like every day is the end of the world. And I just have to share that because I remember thinking, when is it gonna stop hurting so bad where I can actually like get up and like do stuff and like enjoy life? And it's not to say that I haven't enjoyed life in the last 2 years, because I definitely have, but there's always this like looming sadness that is like permeating everything. It's like a part of everything. And now I feel like there's looming like memories and emotions that kind of surround everything. Like if I go into a store and I hear Stevie Wonder, which was like my dad, like he would always play Stevie Wonder in the car on road trips. He would sing it, like we would sing it together. Or like Kirk Franklin. There's just certain songs or certain artists that make me think of him, whereas in the past it was like a looming sadness whenever I thought of that, or like would have moments like that. And now it's more of like a remembrance and just a gratitude for being able to have such a great dad in my life for my whole life, because again, he was incredible. And like now I've been like getting into golf more, which he loved golf. He was like really big into golf. And when I first started getting into golf, I felt very sad. Like just, I hated that. It literally was like a gut punch, like knowing that he never saw me get into golf, because he would always take us to like PGA tournaments and stuff, and he would win like these little trophies, and we're like, I just want some popcorn. Like I literally could care less about your trophy. And now I'm just loving that I'm able to remember him in that way. So again, not to say that the feelings don't go away, but the feelings are different, and you can exist in life differently, and it does get better. So I hope that little bit of encouragement makes you feel a little bit better, because I know so many of you guys shared in the last video how you're going through like similar feelings of loss. I wish I could give you just the biggest hug, but just know you're not alone. You are not the only person who has gone through this, who will go through this, or who will get through this. So yeah, and I'm always a listening ear in the comments too. So love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.